Hello, listeners. This is Kat, and welcome back to Put Your Hands Up Podfics. This will be the continuation of Like, Comment, and Romance. This will be part 2, chapter 2, entitled The Analysis of Dynamite. So, Deku was kind of cute. Todoroki didn't like him, though. Thinking some random guy online was cute was fine. But actually getting a bona fide crush on someone he'd never met and had no chance of meeting was ridiculous. He was just cute. That was all. Still, sticking to the agreement to watch each video for the first time with Uraraka was a test of loyalty. He didn't break her trust. When they had the time, they'd watch a video or two together, but it was tempting to forge ahead alone. He found himself rewatching videos they'd already watched, occasionally. They moved backwards through the videos, and it was sort of funny because Deku got progressively less muscular as they went. It took them months to get through all the analysis videos, and in Deku's first ever video, a review of All Might that was posted 3 years ago, he looked like a stiff breeze could blow him over. Once they got through all the hero reviews, they started watching his other videos, which consisted of things like Q&As from his fans, cosplay tips and tutorials, outrageously hyperbolic and silly hero conspiracy theories, and, very rarely, workout videos. Those ones Todoroki was very fond of, but only because he valued physical fitness. So what if he'd watched all 3 videos 4 or 5 or even 6 times each? Uraraka had contacted another costuming company, and her deluxe costume was set to drop in a month. He'd also contacted a company, one that seemed to always get Deku's approval, after they'd watched about a third of the analysis videos. His costume was going to be released in a week. Uraraka said they were Deku stans, and he had no idea what that meant. "Have you checked out Hitoniyan's channel?" Uraraka asked one day, sitting down on the couch and putting her feet in his lap. He pushed her off. No. He liked the cameraman, Hitoniyan, though he wasn't as intrigued by him as he was by Deku. Hitoniyan never showed his face. Occasionally he'd reveal a hand when he was throwing something at Deku or flipping him off, but that was all. Something about him was naggingly familiar. Uraraka and even Chiro and Yaoyorozu agreed, but none of them could figure out why. He'd learned to ignore the feeling. He liked Hitoniyan and Deku's dynamic. They bickered a lot, and they did a bit where Deku would pretend to be gullible, and Hitoniyan would trick him into embarrassing himself. It was funny, but it made him wonder what Deku was like in real life. There was no way he was actually that gullible. It had to be a bit. But it was hard to imagine him as anything but wholesomely shy and overly trusting. Uraraka put her feet back up on his lap. "Remember when Hitoniyan mentioned Deku getting flustered over a Shouto cosplayer at a convention? I think this is the video on his channel." Todoroki pushed her feet off again and moved closer, so he could see her screen. Deku was on a stage, sitting at a long table with several other people, all with microphones. He was dressed as Aravati, his hair dyed brown. And a guy dressed in a Shouto costume was standing at a microphone in the center of the audience area, a line of people behind him. Todoroki took in the appearance of his doppelganger. The video was taken from an audience member who seemed to be at a distance, so it wasn't the best quality, but he thought the costume was good. "My question is for Deku," the not Todoroki said. "I'm a really big fan. I was just wondering. I heard a rumor that Next Step is going to release an Invisible Girl accessory set, and I was wondering if you would review it, since it's not actually a full costume." "Oh. Yes, I also heard, Sorry, is that your natural hair? I mean, with dye, not a wig, I mean." Yeah. Yes, this is my hair. Dyed." Deku made a noise. It looks really nice. I kind of want to touch it. Shoto's hair is very..." He cleared his throat. "Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Invisible Girl, yes, absolutely. A video, I was thinking perhaps a green screen or gluing a bunch of little mirrors to myself. That would be time-consuming, but maybe fun. But, He glanced to the side, then back forward. "I guess I shouldn't spoil things. Producer San is glaring at me from off stage." The crowd laughed. "I love your costume," Deku continued. "Did you make it yourself?" The cosplayer grabbed the mic and leaned forward. "I did. Thank you. I really love your costume, too. I think everyone does." "That's so nice. Thank you. Can I take a picture with you?" Yes, of course. You can touch my hair, too, if you want." Deku looked to the side again. Later, yes. Sorry, I'm being scolded. Producer San speaks very clearly with his eyes." The crowd laughed again. "I'd like to take a picture after the panel, though, if you have time." "Yes, I think you're really..." He was cut off by a worker for the convention who ushered him aside and brought the next fan forward. The video ended and Uraraka scrolled down through the comments. Todoroki read over her shoulder. "Wow, Deku's a simp. I need to know if this guy got to bone Deku. Does Shouto have an official costume yet? I need one so that I can go fishing for Deku." "All of you freaking out there aren't even fans. He literally said he was bi in his 4th QA vid. Girls, just pop on a red and white wig and go shoot your shot." "My God, I thought he hated Shouto. You're telling me that all the awkwardness whenever he was mentioned was because he was horny for him? Is he gay? He said he had a girlfriend before. All my hopes and dreams. Looks like people are trying to use your visage to get into Deku's pants, Uraraka said, as she liked the video. What an interesting development. That doesn't really seem fair. She looked up, eyebrow raised. What do you mean? He looked away. Nothing. Uh-huh, she said, sounding unconvinced, but she didn't press. She exited the screen and started thumbing through the other videos. She laughed. Half of these are cat videos. That must be why he's called Hito Neon. She clicked on one and then watched a brown and white cat that was sat on the counter next to an All Might mug. Off-screen, Deku's voice could be heard getting steadily louder as he chanted. No, 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 stop her! The cat knocked off the mug from the counter, and Deku could be heard wailing as it shattered. Maybe we should get a cat, Uraraka said, clicking on another video. What about that video makes you want a cat? She shrugged. I thrive off of chaos. I don't know. She made a noise and angled her phone toward him. Shouto, look! So cute! The video showed Deku asleep on the couch with a cat, this time an all-brown one, curled up on his chest, also asleep. Hito Neon started speaking at a whisper. As most of you inferred, Deku and I are roommates. Platonic roommates, so get off of that, oh my god, they were roommates nonsense. My cat likes him better than me, probably 'cause 3 of them break shit all the time and cry at 2 a.m. Kindred souls, and what have you. Todoroki watched the sleeping cat as its body dipped up and down with each breath Deku took. Maybe a cat would be okay. What? Really? Uraraka said, spinning toward him. He shrugged one shoulder. Maybe. I don't have much experience. I've never hung out with a cat. Uraraka hummed thoughtfully. I think Shinzo-kun has a cat, or 2. I don't remember. Want me to ask him if we can come over sometime and hang out? Todoroki didn't do a ton of socializing, but he liked Shinzo, and it had been a while since either of them had seen him. Sure. I'll text him. She wiggled in her seat as she typed. Gotta think of cat names. I said maybe. A cat is a big decision. Who would get it if one of us moved out? Me, she said, typing away. Oh, but... She started suddenly, setting up more rigidly. New video drop, she yelled. Who? Todoroki asked. She started laughing. Bakugo-kun. Oh my god, no way, he can't. She handed Todoroki her phone so that she could cover her face while she laughed. We get to see a big doe-eyed, smiley Bakugo-kun. I can't even. Todoroki clicked on the video. It says Premium Edition in the title. Uraraka leaned toward him, trying to stifle her laughter. What's that mean? He started to answer, to say he didn't know, but Uraraka shushed him as the video started. Deku was sitting in his usual chair, leaning back with his feet, clad in black and orange boots, propped up on the table. Unlike most videos, he was already in full costume. Deku, you gotta start. Deku looked up, glaring at the camera. Huh? Start the intro. Deku took his feet off the desk and glared at the camera, mouth twisted in a sneer. How's this for an intro? He clambered over the table, one hand flexed beside him, and lunged for the camera. Shut up and die! His palm closed over the camera lens, and the video went static. Uraraka lost it. She was practically howling as she fell sideways into the couch cushions, clenching her stomach. I can't, she yelled. It's too much. Is it premium because he's acting? Todoroki questioned, pausing the video to let Uraraka have time to get control of herself. As he paused it, he noticed the time. Oh, it's 30 minutes. Uraraka slowly righted herself, grabbing his arm to pull herself back into a seated position. 30? That's no fair. Why is Bakugo-kun so special? I guess that's why it's premium. Maybe he'll explain. Uraraka made a discontented sound, but clicked the play button nonetheless. The fuzz cleared from the screen, and Deku was sitting back in his chair, smiling at the camera. The costume he was wearing looked like it was high quality at the very least. It was accurate. Seeing such a bright smile, coupled with Bakugo's clothes, was unnerving. Hello, Deku said in thick English. Deku here for a special premium episode of Deku's Hero Analysis. We've got 30 minutes. Help. To talk about Pro Hero Dynamite. SOS. Beep, beep, beep. That was Morse code. Shh. Stop being obnoxious. Stop trying to stifle me. But really, explain what's up. Why does Dynamite get special treatment from Deku-kun? Should Shouto be worried? No, it's nothing like, Shouto wouldn't be worried anyway. That's not, don't twist things. Die. Deku picked 3 pens up off the table and threw them. I'm being abused. Beep, beep, beep. Deku stuck his tongue out. An angry expression like that suits the Dynamite costume. Deku stopped sticking his tongue out. You think? Is my angry expression convincing? Very much, yes. I'll try looking angry this episode then. He glared at the camera, lips pulled back in a sneer. You're surprisingly good with the Dynamite impression. Is he a favorite? All Might's my favorite. A favorite. A favorite. We all know that All Might is The favorite. Oh, well, I guess. It's complicated. Or maybe not. Dynamite is... I know him personally. He was my first friend. So, saying I'm a fan feels odd because he's less Dynamite to me and more Katsuki, but for Dynamite, I suppose, yes. I guess I'm a fan, in a way. Hito Neon made a long humming sound. So that's why it's a premium video. Do you have exclusive Dynamite info? Yes, that's right. I know Katan very well, so I have lots to say. Uraraka paused the video. You're telling me, of the entire hero community, the one who knows Deku is Bakugo-kun, that he gets a cute nickname from Deku? That's the most unfair shit I've ever heard. They don't seem like they'd get along. For real, Deku's like goodness incarnate. He's a baby bunny made into a person, and Bakugo-kun is a slaughterhouse machine made into a person. Those two things don't jive. He said he was his first friend. Maybe they aren't friends anymore. Todoroki glanced down at her. Bakugo might have been a baby bunny too as a child. Uraraka scoffed. Doubt it. You raise an interesting point, though. If they aren't friends anymore, that's one thing. But if they are... She didn't continue, looking at him expectantly. He raised an eyebrow, shrugging. Shouto, we know Bakugo-kun. We both have his number. A friend in common with Deku. We could get introduced. Todoroki's other eyebrow went up. Let's keep watching, Uraraka said. Maybe he'll mention if they're still friends. She clicked the play button. An insider scoop, Hito Neon said. You said he was your first friend, so how long have you known him? We met when we were 2. Hito Neon made an exaggeratedly impressed noise. So long. What a coveted position, Deku-kun's childhood friend. Maybe Shoto-san really should be worried. Stop! Shouto doesn't know who I am. Not that matters. The atmosphere just became tragic. We're talking about Dynamite. Talking about Shouto during his video will make him mad. Deku-kun must give Dynamite his undivided attention. The childhood friend gets jealous, Hito Neon whispered. Deku stood up scowling, and Hito Neon laughed, waving a hand in front of the camera. Sorry, I'll stop teasing. We're getting sidetracked anyway. Tell us about your friendship with Dynamite. Deku hesitantly sat back down. There's not a lot to tell. He was my best friend when we were really small, but we, drifted apart as we got older. I see, so you're not friends anymore? Not really, no. We haven't spoken for years, until just recently. I see. But you still care about him. Deku pursed his lips. Well, sure. Doesn't everyone have those feelings for the people that they used to be happiest to see? Sort of like, I haven't seen this person in many years, and we have nothing to do with each other, but I can still recite their phone number from when we were kids. It's like a handprint on the heart sort of thing. I see. That's very pure and wholesome. We have nothing to do with each other, but you'd be devastated if something happened to him. Yes, very much. I see. You keep saying that. I see. I'm just very interested. Deku did not look convinced. You're trying to manipulate my words. Am not. You said you spoke with him recently. Deku glared suspiciously at the camera. Yes, he admitted reluctantly. Obviously, he knew his costume was about to be released, and he figured I'd review it. He wanted to talk beforehand. Ah, to stop you from sharing embarrassing stories. Or photos? More or less, yeah. He also gave me a bunch of merch. He thought I wouldn't have anything of his. You do, though. Yes? So did you decline his gift? No. I mean, I didn't want to be rude. Stingy. I'm not. Hoarder. No, I'm not. It was all really cool, so I just... All? Was it a lot? Quite a bit, yes. And you took it all? Hito Neon! You're making me feel bad. Should I give some back? No, it's too late now. Returning a gift after accepting, that's not a good impression. Deku made a noise of agreement. What was seeing him again after so long? Like, awkward? No, actually. We fell right back into our old dynamic. We went out to eat, and he sampled my food, but wouldn't let me try his, and when we left, he stole my sunglasses. Hito Neon barked out a laugh. Did he used to steal from you? Yes, frequently. Not in a sneaky way, though. He'd very bluntly take my things. What a bad friend. Which sunglasses did he take? Hero ones? My Red Riot ones, yes. With the bright red lenses, he said it's a bad color on me. Ah, so he was perhaps being helpful, in a rude kind of way. Deku laughed. Protecting me from a fashion faux pas. With clothes like mine, that's a huge undertaking Kantan has taken on. A selfless and brave hero. Truly. I bet his food tastes bad. That's why he wouldn't share. What a protective person. Deku was laughing harder. That must have been it. To save my taste buds, my hero. We need to move on to the review, Hito Neon said, still snickering. But first, tell us one of the things Dynamite didn't want you to say. That's counter to the point. Was one of them perhaps a childhood nickname? No, how did you guess? Hito Neon snickered. You've been saying it. I haven't. You have. Deku wailed. Let's reshoot. No, it's too late now. Just go on. Stop making that face with Dynamite's costume. You're too expressive. Sorry. It's true, though. My face isn't a good fit. We can start the review there, actually, with the face. With a costume like this, I was worried about the mask. Dynamite, his eyes are rather narrow. Because he's always glaring. Pretty much. So I was worried the mask would fit poorly because of my eyes. I've been told they're very large. Right, they are. Sort of a moe look. Moe? Right, you know, like seeing a kitten. No, that's not... He cleared his throat. They're just large, in a normal way, but the company planned for things like that, so the holes in the mask are quite a bit larger than Kachan's actual mask. His mask conforms to his features very tightly, so keep in mind with his costume, you'll want to outline your eyes to avoid an odd look. Outline how? You know, with makeup or something. The studio gave me a sort of face paint to use, but I think black eyeshadow would also work, or eyeliner, though that might be a bit time-consuming. Oh, right. You're bad with eyeliner. Your ragdoll video. I struggled, yes. Face paint was much easier. I would recommend using something like that, or makeup, so the costume looks nice regardless of facial expressions or eye shape. So right now, under the mask, is it a bit of a panda situation? Deku laughed. More or less, yes. Deku continued his review of the costume. It was one of the deluxe costumes, and was of extremely good quality, according to Deku. He mentioned it was pricey, though, as most Dynamite merch was, since he valued quality. He concluded the costume portion by saying he tried to convince Dynamite to license more budget-friendly merchandise. He said he provided him a list of his favorite brands for quality on a budget. Uraraka paused the video, cheeks puffed out in irritation. This is not fair, she whined as she grabbed Shouto's arm and started shaking him. We watched all his videos and made a freaking Excel spreadsheet to figure out which brands were Deku's favorites for price categories. Bakugo Kun just gets handed a list to him without even asking. I wonder if he'll utilize it. Right? He was given a treasure, and he probably doesn't even appreciate it. I'm texting him. Wait until the video's done, Todoroki said, hitting the play button. Deku launched into his analysis of Dynamite's quirk, gushing about how diverse it is, and then moving on to discussing Bakugo's fighting style. He did his normal bit where he went over Dynamite's best fights and moments, and then he got to the merchandise review. He bent down and, from beneath the table, pulled out a huge box. Oh no, said Hitonian. Deku laughed. Don't worry, I'm not reviewing everything. He gave me so much, I'm just going to review a few of my favorites. So why bring the whole box? Well, what my favorite is sort of changes minute by minute, so I wanted to keep my options open. As usual, he began with a figure review. Like the costume, the quality was impeccable. Say, Hitonian said, is it weird having a figure of a person you've known for so long? It is, actually. I was hesitant to buy it at first, but I wanted to support him. But when I put it with the rest of my collection, it sort of felt like, wow, Kachan's staring at me. I didn't like it. So, do you not display it? You know I do. We're roommates. I'm asking for the viewers. Work with me. Well, yes, I display it, but I moved it. I have a shelf with things like family pictures and stuff, so I put it there. Hitonian laughed. A picture of Mama Deku, and next to her is Dynamite. Is that odd? Deku laughed. She's the one who gave him my number when he wanted to talk. He didn't know how to contact me, so he just visited my childhood home. That's sort of cute. A childhood friend on a mission. I'm feeling affectionate toward Dynamite now. He probably won't like to hear that. After reviewing the figure, he took off the mask, which was connected to the explosion pieces behind his head. Hitonian started snickering. Panda. Deku rolled his eyes. This next piece is hard to put on with the mask, since it wraps all the way around, so I had to take it off. He reached into the box and pulled out a large pair of headphones. Each cup had an explosion piece jutting off of it, to mimic Dynamite's headpiece. Deku put them on. Oh, right, Hitonian said. You use those frequently, don't you? I use these frequently, Deku said. They're noise-canceling, so they're very useful for ignoring Hitonian. Hey, the audio quality is also very good, but like everything else, you have to pay for it. What I like best about these, though, is the cord option. They work with Bluetooth, of course, but if you forget to charge them, they also come with a detachable cord. I made a lot of use of that in college. Sometimes I spent hours and hours doing schoolwork, and the battery would die. The cord let me keep listening to music without having to pause to charge them. That's very considerate of Dynamite. I can't hear you. We'll take them off. I might wear these the rest of the video. It feels very peaceful and calming. A Dynamite video shouldn't be very peaceful and calming. But I suppose peaceful and calming isn't the right atmosphere for someone like Kachan, but still, they sort of give off that vibe. The explosions here, they look very cool, but they're removable. He popped one off. They go on and off very easily. I usually keep them on because they look so cool. The Dynamite costume design is really very cool, but if you take these off, it makes it easier to lie down while wearing the headphones. They can be useful for taking a quiet nap. I'm not sure if that was his intention. Naps. Naps probably wasn't his intention. I'm guessing the thought process was geared more towards storage. When I travel, I also pop them off so they can lie flat in my luggage. Stop repeating me. You keep saying things, Hitonian, but I can't hear you. Take them off. You look distressed. Don't throw things at me. Move on. Deku took off the headphones. You're so mean. I have a second pair of these from Katsuki that I was going to give you, but now I'm not so sure. I don't want them now. Move on. Fine, fine. We have a special guest for the next piece. Producer-san, can you... Thank you. An awkward-looking man in a suit stepped into the frame, holding a cat. He glanced at the camera, handed Deku the cat, and then walked off. Uraraka made a pleased sound. It's the cat from the mug video. This is Kazooie, Deku said. He flipped the cat on its back so he could cradle it like a baby. The cat allowed it. Some of you might remember her from my Wild Wild Pussycats videos, along with Banjo. He's also here, but he's stubbornly sleeping in the dressing room. So Kazooie will demonstrate. Probably not a lot of people know this, but Katan really likes cats. The cat person. I'm a little surprised. He doesn't seem like the type for pets. He had a lizard once, too, in elementary school, Deku said, as he reached under the table, awkwardly still cradling the cat, and pulled out a large, hollowed-out plush grenade. But anyways, this is a newer item, a cat bed, modeled after his gauntlets. It's very cute. This grenade is so cute. What a good Deku quote. I mean, it is, though, but in a cool way. Cool, but also cute. It's meant for just a single cat, but it's roomy enough for two. If they're the cuddly sort. Banjo and Kazooie like sleeping pressed together, so they don't mind sharing. Kazooie, show everyone your bed. He set the cat down on the table, and it stretched, then walked over to the bed and got inside, curling up. In addition to the bed, there are also balls with little bells in them, Deku said, reaching into the box of merchant, pulling out 3 small plastic balls. Each one was painted black with an orange X across it, like the front of Dynamite's costume. The cats both enjoy these, though Banjo can be stingy with them. They're sold in packs of 4. Where's the 4th? In the dressing room with Banjo. Hitonian snorted. Spoiled brat. You're the one who insisted I leave it with him. Well, yeah, can't be a spoiled brat without someone doing the spoiling. They bickered about the cats for a bit, and Deku managed to entice Kazooie into leaving the bed and playing with the balls for a bit. Eventually, the producer returned and took Kazooie away, and another person stepped into the frame, placing a plate of hot wings in front of Deku. Deku can't do a 30-minute video without pausing to eat. He works out a lot, so he eats a monstrous amount of food. I do not. Stop lying. Deku huffed and reached into the box, pulling out a small bottle. The label, similar to the cat toys, was black with an orange X, but there was also stripes of green along the top and bottom. The cap looked like a grenade. This, Deku continued, actually hasn't been released yet. This is Dynamite's new hot sauce. Set to hit stores this Wednesday. But Dynamite gave me a bottle beforehand. To review, he was very adamant I try it. Hitonian faked a gasp. He's using you for a free commercial. My affection for the childhood friend Katan has dried up. Please don't call him that. He doesn't like it, but, I don't think a commercial was his intention. He's very popular, so I'm not sure he needs advertising. What was his intention, then? Well, he loves spicy food very much, but for me, I'm a little... You don't handle it well. Not really. Your crazy pain tolerance doesn't help with things like this. No? Isn't it odd? I guess my pain tolerance is purely external. My taste buds are wimpy and my body's resilient, he said, laughing. Katan knows this, so I guess he expects this to be funny, but I tried several hot sauces yesterday. I practiced, so I'm feeling confident. This feels like one of those last words before disaster struck sort of things. No, I'll do well, he began opening the bottle. I'm eager to try it. The name he put for it, Bakusatsuo, that was once a contender for his hero name. Oh, really? Yes, I remember him talking about it in middle school. I thought it was clever because, Baku like his name, but also like Bakuhatsu, explosion, and then replacing the Hatsu part with Satsu for murder. And then, of course, the O at the end, also like his name, but also like the suffix for king. Oh. So, sort of a pun on his name. That's right. I was surprised when he debuted as Dynamite. I guess he changed his mind. Or perhaps such a violent name wasn't allowed for a hero. Oh, I didn't think of that. I hope not. That would make me sad for him, but either way, I'm glad it found a new life here. It's an appropriate name for a hot sauce. I agree. Deku put a fairly generous amount of hot sauce on a wing. I'm excited. I got a whole plate of wings. But I really only needed one. But let's try it. First, some info. This is made from habanero peppers and pineapple and also pepper extract. It has a score on, I forget what it's called. There was some murmuring off camera. Scoville chart? Am I saying that right? It's a way to measure hotness with hot sauces. This score is a 321,900 on that scale. I don't know what that means, admittedly, Deku said, laughing, But Kachan said using pepper extract actually makes it hotter than other sauces with a higher score. Something about how the extract sticks to your mouth. He told me to have a glass of milk. Ah, thank you, Producer-san, he said, as he leaned forward and accepted a glass of milk from an outstretched hand. He said, milk calms things better than water. Hopefully I won't need this, but it was very considerate of him to tell me. Deku lifted the wing toward the camera, like he was toasting. Without further ado, he bit into the wing, chewing thoughtfully. He nodded. It has a good flavor, he said, lifting a hand to cover his mouth, so the camera wouldn't capture him talking with his mouth full. He took another bite. He chewed slowly, and then slower still, until he came to a stop. Swallowing heavily, he coughed a few times, blinking rapidly. Deku? He held up a finger as he turned to the side, trying to shield his face as he coughed. Finally, he turned back forward, grabbing a glass of milk. You're crying? Deku slammed the milk back, chest heaving as he downed it, and then slammed it back to the table with a gasp. Producer-san, can you please get me— Oh my god. The next words out of his mouth were censored. No, Deku-kun, your mother watches. Don't touch your face. He threw his head back and was censored again. Here, Hitonian said, and his hand appeared in frame. Throwing a small towel Deku's way, Deku caught it, buried his face into it, and then screamed. That wasn't a playful scream, Uraraka whispered, watching with wide eyes. I don't think he's ever cursed on the show before, Todoroki said, watching as the producer had rushed over to Deku with a large carton of milk. Deku looked up, eyes bloodshot and tears tracking through the black makeup surrounding his eyes. He grabbed the carton and started drinking straight from it. I'm very worried, but I also kind of want to chant chug, 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 Hitonian whispered. Deku, you're ruining the costume. Deku had the carton completely upside down, and milk was spilling out the sides of his mouth and down his chest, which was heaving up and down as he tried to swallow as much as he could. Todoroki watched, mouth dry. Oh my god, Shouto, Uraraka said, elbowing him. Get a hold of yourself. The poor boy's in pain. I didn't say anything, he said, looking away from the video guiltily. Your face said everything for you. Todoroki looked back at the screen. Deku had drunk all the milk and had his face pressed into the towel again. He was breathing heavily while the producer stood by him, awkwardly patting his back. Deku, you good? Hitonian asked. Deku looked up, staring unimpressed at the camera. His eyes and face were red. Black makeup was smeared all around his eyes, and he was covered in tears, snot, and milk. Do you think he still looks cute right now? Todoroki asked. Not really. Look at him. Only someone with like a huge crush on him would think he still looks cute like this. He's a mess. Todoroki bit his bottom lip. Objectively, Uraraka was right. There was nothing cute about tears, smear-faced paint, snot, or milk, especially not in combination, and yet he just wanted to help him clean his face, was all, because he felt bad. That was it. On Uraraka's phone, Deku gasped out that he was okay and finished his review, stating that the sauce tasted good and would work well for dares and punishment games. With a wince, he pulled out another bottle and, without much enthusiasm, said that the sauce could also be purchased, coupled with a second sauce, Ground Zero, which boasted a Scoville score of 1.5 million. So, Hitonian drawled. You gonna taste that one too, or? Deku thunked his head onto the table. The video cut there, and when it came back, Deku was dressed in shorts and a muscle tank top that read sports jacket across the front. His face had been washed, so even though his eyes still looked a bit teary, the smears of makeup were gone. The cat from before was cradled in his arms again. Deku-kun took a recovery break. I needed it. I feel Dynamite has been cruel to you. You probably didn't realize my spice tolerance was quite that low. I'd be curious to see other people try it. Do you want the rest of the wings? I would, but no sauce. Or a different sauce. I'll heat them up later. I don't want to eat during the Q&A. Let's get through it then, so Deku can eat. We'll start with our standard fan-favorite question. Do you have a crush on Dynamite? Absolutely not. That's kind of, repulsive seems a little over the top, and yet... Repulsive. Poor Kachan. No, it's not like... The way I view him is just... He feels like family? Yes. But not a husband? No. A brother? No. Maybe more like a cousin. Only a cousin. Deku-kun is cruel. I love you not like a husband, or a lover, or a brother, but a cousin. Kachan's heart must be breaking. No, stop it. I'm sure he feels the same. He'd probably go further. Further? Second cousins. Hitonian started laughing. So no chance of reconciliation, then? You don't want to try and become best friends again? Well, no. We both already have best friends. Oh? And who is Deku-kun's best friend? Deku raised an eyebrow. It's you. Hitonian was quiet for a moment. Is it me? Yes, of course. Am I not yours? No, you are. We've just never really had a spoken confirmation. Are you getting emotional? I'm not. I see. Hey, don't use my phrasing. Deku laughed. Hitonian is overcome with emotion. I feel somewhat smug. I don't like this. Let's move on. I like this question. Dynamite is always glaring and frowning, so do you think he'll age poorly, with wrinkles and such? Deku laughed. What a concern to have! Will Dynamite age poorly? Someone must like his face very much. I don't understand why they think you'd know, like you can see the future. I do know, though. What? How? Kachan will likely age well. He sweats nitroglycerin, so his skin is very, moisturized, I guess you'd say. His pores don't seem to clog, I guess because his skin adapted to his quirk. During adolescence, there was a lot of envy from boys and girls both over his pristine skin. That's very interesting. What an enviable quirk side effect. It is. His mother, too. I ran into her at the store maybe a year ago, and it was like, you look the same. There's been no aging. Hitonian made a humming sound. So, Dynamite might have a youthful appearance for a long time, but what about his hands? Most heroes have rough, calloused hands. Are his, perhaps, baby soft? Deku smiled, shrugging. Believe it or not, we didn't hold hands when we met up, so I'm not sure. I imagine they might be soft, though. So, Dynamite wears gloves, not to protect his hands, but to hide how dainty and smooth they are. No, he wears them to help collect and direct his sweat. That's not a fun answer. Moving on. They continued in that manner, going back and forth with questions and responses until finally the video reached the end. Thank you for tuning into this premium episode, everyone. Please pardon me for my rude behavior earlier. I don't usually curse, so I'm a little embarrassed. Deku smiled shyly. If you liked the episode, though, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, show your support to Dynamite. This video was highly requested, and our next segment will also be one of many that you've asked for. Send in your questions to my Twitter, linked below, for a chance to have your question featured on our next episode, where I'll be analyzing Pro Hero Shouto. His grin widened as he lifted one of Kazui's paws and waved it at the camera. As usual, he called out bye-bye in English. You're next! Uraraka cheered. She dropped her phone to the couch and grabbed his shoulder, shaking him violently. I'm excited, he said without much emotion. He pulled out his phone. Don't sound it. No, I am. I want to see what he looks like in my clothes, he said as he typed on his phone. Uraraka snorted in surprise. That's bold, coming from you. Are you finally admitting you have a crush? Yeah. Uraraka sat up straighter. What? Really? What changed? Did the milk really do it for you that much? Todoroki glanced up from his phone. The circumstances changed. Before he was a random guy I'll probably never meet. Now he's a friend of a friend. So you've always had a crush. You're just admitting it now because he seems more accessible? Todoroki looked back to his phone. Sure, you could put it that way. Okay, but like you're famous. You could have tracked him down without Bakugo-kun. Todoroki furrowed his brows. I think that would be weird. What would I do? Contact the studio or request a meeting? That's going too far, I think. Asking a mutual friend to set this up is more natural. You're so particular, Uraraka huffed, throwing her arms over the back of the couch. You could have just made an Insta and messaged him. If you verified your account, he'd know it was you. Verified my account? Oh my god, you're such an old man. Look. She tapped away at her phone, then held up the screen to his face. See the little check mark? That's how people know it's really me, and not a fake. YouTube doesn't have that. You're always complaining he doesn't know it's you commenting. I don't think so. I don't upload videos, so I never looked into it. No one seems to have a check mark or anything, though. Let me see his page, Todoroki said, setting his phone down and putting his hand out for hers. She rolled her eyes, but obediently tapped at her phone a few times and then handed it over. Todoroki took it, expression neutral, as he scrolled through the pictures. All these pictures are always on here. Yup, she said, popping the P. For your viewing pleasure. Want me to help you make an account so that you can follow him? Yeah, he said, handing the phone back and ignoring the way she was snickering at him. All right, let's do it. You'll be popular. If you upload some good pictures of yourself, maybe Deku will follow you back. Todoroki considered that idea. He tried to imagine Deku, home alone and willingly scrolling through a series of photos of him. Shouto, I can literally see your mind working. May I remind you that I'm sitting right next to you. Visit the gutter later. Why don't you message Bakugo-kun first? Then we can make you an Insta. Already did, he said, holding up his phone. On the screen, several text messages were displayed, the most recent of which read, Could you introduce me to Deku? Damn, you didn't waste any time. Why would I? She laughed at him in a way that made him feel like she was making fun of him, but he didn't mind. So what if he was a little eager? The prospect of potentially getting a date with Deku was kind of exciting. Or really exciting. Same difference. You're right, no time to lose. Come on, I want to take glamour shots for your Insta. Actually, mine too. We'll be each other's photographers. I don't know how to take a glamour shot. Me neither, but that's what the internet is for. We'll figure it out. I already have ideas, but we have to move fast before the lighting changes. Go grab a white button-up and run water over it. Oh, and wet your hair. This sounds excessive. No, it'll be fun. Just do what I say for Deku. He nodded slowly, Uraraka was an agent of chaos, but he supposed that she really did give good advice. He could listen to her this time. For Deku. He stood up to go to his room while Uraraka ran to the kitchen and began piling all their fruit into a bowl. "Let me know when Bakugo-kun answers," she called out. "Right," he called back as he headed for his closet to find a white button-up. The glamour shots may or may not work out, but at least he could count on Bakugo. He felt confident he wouldn't let him down. All right, listeners, this concludes Chapter 2 of Like, Comment, and Romance. Chapter 3 will be next. I hope you all are enjoying this one so far. This one is so cute to me. I just loved it so much when I first read it. As always, though, I appreciate your amazing support, and thank you so much for listening.